Hi, and welcome to ScheduleBin. In this video walkthrough, we're going to look at the features available to a manager responsible for scheduling employees. This walkthrough doesn't cover every feature in great detail, as lots of features have already been covered in other walkthroughs, and we suggest you watch those in order to have a more complete understanding of how ScheduleBin works. To begin, enter your username and password and click on the Login button. Once logged in, you'll be at your dashboard. The top half of the dashboard has your schedule for the next 2 weeks, with today's date always highlighted in amber. The bottom half has messages from other staff members, including time off requests, shift trade requests, and messages from managers. On the top of the screen, you'll notice 5 tabs: Dashboard, which is your default view when you log in; Schedule, which is where you go to create and manage your employee schedule; My Details, where you manage your contact information and availability; Employees is where you manage all the employees in your team; and Statistics is a premium feature for ScheduleBin that allows you to track employee and team trends. The second tab that we want to show you is the My Details tab, in the middle of the tabs at the top. Here you can keep track of all your personal information, including your username and password, which you can change using the buttons on the bottom of this view. Any employee can also set their schedule availability by clicking on the Availability button in their My Details view. Here you can set which hours during a given week that you're available to work. Orange-filled cells in this table represent times that you are available to work. White or empty cells in this table represent times you are unavailable. In this example, we're basically unavailable for every day of the week in the mornings. The next thing that we'd like to show you is the Schedule tab, which, as its name suggests, is where you create your employee schedules. On the top left of the Schedule view, you'll find 3 buttons: My Schedule, Team Schedule, and Template Maker. The My Schedule view is the only view that regular employees can see when they click on the Schedule tab. It's where they can trade shifts and request time off. But as a manager responsible for scheduling your team, you're more interested in the Team Schedule view. When you click on the Team Schedule button, you'll notice 2 columns on the left: Templates, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and Live Shifts. Live Shifts displays a list of your currently scheduled shifts. In the center of the view, taking up most of the space, you'll see the shift graph. Here, shifts are represented as bars on a graph. Both the live shifts column and the shift graph can only represent 3 days worth of shifts at the most. To set which 3 days worth of shifts that you're currently viewing, select a date from the calendar in the top right. Beneath the calendar is the Shift Details panel, which allows you to view and edit the details of a given shift. What we're going to do next is create our first schedule. To begin, click on the New button in the Live Shifts column. This will create an empty shift. An empty shift is a shift that's highlighted red because it has no employee assigned to it and it doesn't have a position assigned to it. To assign an employee and a position, you go to the Shift Details panel in the bottom right. There you can select an employee and a position from the drop-down boxes. Once that's done, you'll notice that your shift has turned green. This means that it's ready to be scheduled. It has both an employee and a position. You schedule the shift by clicking the Save button. Above the shift graph, you'll notice some buttons that you could use to adjust the zoom level for the graph. You can also grab and drag the graph to change which dates currently are in focus. Next, we're going to add a couple more shifts. With each shift, we're going to assign it an employee and a position. At any time, we can grab a shift on the graph and move it around to change its start time. We can also switch the different zoom levels so that we can drag shifts onto different days. Use the calendar in the top right to focus on different shifts in different days. Creating shifts this way is great, especially when you need to make changes to your live schedule. But to schedule your entire staff by manually filling in each shift is a little bit of a cumbersome process, which is why we developed the template maker. A template is a group of shifts where each shift has at least a position assigned to it. You can then drag and drop your template onto your schedule, and each shift in the template will populate the schedule. This makes generating a schedule a lot quicker and easier than manually creating each shift for every workday. To create a template, click on the New button in the top left, and then give your template a name in the top middle. We already have a template called 50K Day, and we're going to make a new one called Typical Monday. We can apply this template to a typical Monday. Next, to fill out your template, create shifts like you did with your regular schedule, and give each shift a position. Once you're happy with your template, click on the Save button in the top middle. To use our new template, go to the Team Schedule view. You'll notice the template column on the left has our new template in it. Simply drag and drop the template onto the schedule to have that template's shifts populate the schedule. Because we didn't assign any employees to our template shifts, you'll notice that the template shifts that we drag onto the schedule are red. We could, if we wanted, manually fill every shift with an employee from the Shift Details panel. But an easier way to do this would be to use the Auto Fill Shifts button in the top middle. When you click on the Auto Fill Shifts button, all the shifts that aren't currently assigned an employee will be assigned an employee. This works great in conjunction with templates where you only assign a position. You can drag a template onto your schedule and click on the Auto Fill Shifts button, and it will automatically find an appropriate employee for each shift. All shifts in the live schedule are treated the same in that you can drag and drop the endpoints of a shift to adjust its start time and duration, or you can drag the whole shift itself. At any time, you can sort your shifts by start time, employee, or the position type of the shift. This makes finding information on your schedule easy, especially if you only have time for a quick glance. The last thing that we want to show you is how you can print your schedule. Simply click on the Print Team Schedule button in the very top left. A dialog window will pop up with a list of your current schedule. The next week will be selected by default, but you can adjust which week that you'd like to print. Print the schedule by clicking on the Print button in the bottom left of the dialog box and select which printer you want to print the schedule to. This concludes our walkthrough. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at info@schedulebin.com.